Hello everybody, welcome back once again. We are playing Unicorn Overlord here. Just about to get started on the Ravaged Swamp now. Of course, I am jumping around just a little bit. The next battle that probably makes actually the most sense to do would be like a solitary resistance. But being that my main hard-hitting group here is already level 10, it doesn't really matter what we do next, right? I want to recruit Yana next, and she is found here. So, as usual here, I'm going to try to go over, the tactics here that I'm going to be using for the main group. I may actually bring in Travis's group too for the... Actually, let me swap that to Clive. We'll go over the tactics for that group as well. I don't know that I'll actually be bringing it or deploying it in this next battle, but... anyways, it's just a slight change here for Joseph. I did give him the Sanguine Blade, and then that actually adds the Sanguine attack here. Sanguine Blade is just slightly better than the Templar Sword in terms of actual physical attack. You can see there it's 16 versus the 15 on the Templar Sword. A little bit of a reduction there on the guard rate and physical defense, but I kind of like this one. So... I'm going to give this one a shot. I kind of was considering using the runic. So actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I am going to equip this runic sword instead. Only issue with this is it's going to be... actually, you know what? We'll switch this up probably mid-battle. Issue with the runic sword is it's only got the 8 physical attack. And unfortunately for Joseph doing pursuits... that's going to really, really make those pursuits really weak. Magic attack is amazing for taking out like armored characters because it does have the 150 magic potency, right? So it definitely has its uses. So anyways, we'll kind of maybe switch that up mid-battle if I feel like I need to. But anyways... I moved heal up to the top, still with the target HP below 75% and then lowest HP, being targeted. And then Sanguine Attack, I'm just using this on the lowest HP character. Slice really isn't going to activate now because Sanguine Attack is going to, or it's going to be prioritized. So I guess I could do... Yeah, let's do this. This actually will work. Let's do own HP below 100%. So that will make him use Sanguine Attack if he's missing health. And then we'll use that on the target with lowest HP. And then of course if Joseph is at 100% HP, he'll use Slice, right on the lowest HP. No, the only issue here is that heal is still going to prioritize Joseph if he is missing HP. Right, so that's going to be... we may not see Sanguine Attack a whole lot because of that. Actually, let's do that. We'll move Sanguine Attack up top. And again, that will just make it so that if he is ever missing any HP, he will use Sanguine Attack. And then if he's at like 100% HP, but somebody else is below 75, then he'll use Heal. And then he'll use Slice last. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's not going to be that important. Like, he doesn't really need this thing, honestly, to perform really well. So, like, even just still having a Templar Sword on would be completely fine. But I kind of just wanted to test this out, or try it out, because I don't really use the Sanguine Blade that often, so... anyways, as far as everybody else, Aubin here is still... I'm going to keep the... Actually, let's move the Crushing Axe back onto him, too. Let me just see here. Crushing Axe is 13. Yeah, this is only 11, so it does make sense to put this back on. And then Crush, we're just going to set that... We're going to set Rolling Axe up on top here, row with 2+ combatants. Crush, I'm going to go with lowest HP. He's not going to use Smash anymore, right? But I guess we can just turn that off. Not that it really matters, but so now, like I said, he'll use Crush now. I like that because it inflicts the stun. And then I guess Elaine, I could throw the Templar Sword on him, maybe. That might make sense. And then shield doesn't really matter, but let's give him the Battlers. She's going to give him a little bit of extra physical attack. And he, like I said, he doesn't really need the extra experience, right? Because it's not really going to do anything. Ring of the Unicorn actually probably makes some sense to be using on him right now. We're not really going to be running into anything with blindness or that's going to do blindness or burn, so we don't really need that. Dancer's Bracelet, I mean, it's probably not that important either at this point. It does grant the 30% extra physical attack for an ally attack, but I don't know. For this group, they don't really need it. And a little bit of extra guard rate here in HP probably makes a little bit of sense. So we'll go like that. Aubyn's still actually having the gauntlets as well. Actually, I'm going to swap that out now that I think about it. Just to the golden egg, because, I mean, honestly, gold is always very important. I mean, honestly, I think in this game you can just never have too much, so I think I'm going to keep that on him. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go over Clive's unit. Again, I don't really expect to use this one that much, but you got some recruit stuff for him. Chloe's Charm still. This isn't really... Honestly, this stuff doesn't really make that much sense. We just don't really have much for equipment anyway right now, right? So this is completely fine. Travis has nothing. I mean, I could throw like the lantern on him. I don't know. We don't really want to put Dancer's Bracelet on him. I guess he can have the... Actually, let's grab this stuff. He definitely doesn't need the plume. Let's actually give that to Clive, because I'm not using Selvi right now anyway. Chloe's got the Unwavering Spear. I actually may... I'm going to steal that from Clive, now that I think about it. Again, most of this group isn't really going to do much anyway, so I don't really care that much about how they're equipped. But, she's got the Unwavering Spear. That's got True Thrust, and then the accuracy plus 10%. So I'm going to have True Thrust to target scouts. You know, we are... Every once in a while, you're going to run into scouts, you know, early on, meaning, you know, like thieves. Thieves are considered scouts. And the fact that this is a True Thrust means that she can't miss, right? So that's going to be very, very nice. And then she's got Javelin, but she's only going to be using that on flying targets. And then the next priority is going to be Long Thrust, and that's on a full column. And then she's also going to target whoever has the lowest HP there. And then another instance of Long Thrust, and then prioritizing Cavalry, and then lowest HP. So the reason why there's two separate instances of this, and if you ever need to do this, you just go to Add Tactic, and then this is, you know, you get to choose which one of the abilities. But what's going to happen here is, if the requirements aren't met for True Thrust, meaning like if all of the scouts are dead, she won't use this, right? And she'll go on to the next. So she'll look for flying enemies to use Javelin on. And then if there's no flying enemies, she'll go to Long Thrust. She'll first look for that full column. And if that condition obviously is met, then she'll hit the one with the lowest HP. Now the problem, though, is that if we don't do another instance of Long Thrust here, if none of these three conditions are met, she just won't have an ability to use, right? So that's why we have the final one here with the Long Thrust. We're going to prioritize Cavalry. So it's not, you know, this won't just look for Cavalry, but what it will do, though, is it'll look for a Cavalry unit if it's present and prioritize that. And then the one with, you know, if there's multiple Cavalry, she's going to look for the lowest HP. But the thing is also, if there isn't Cavalry here, she'll still do Long Thrust on whoever has the lowest HP, just because this is only a priority for Cavalry, not just Cavalry, right? So a little complicated, but once you understand kind of how these conditions work, it gets a little bit easier to set things up. For Travis here, I'm going to be doing passive steal as long as the target has 1 or more PP. And then if a target doesn't have 1 or more PP, then he'll use Toxic Throw. I honestly don't really see him using Toxic Throw that much, because he only has 1 AP, and like the chances that something is going to be completely run out of PP before he acts is basically slim to none. So he'll be using passive steal, right, instead of toxic throw. Honestly, probably what I could do here, though, that would make actually more sense would be to do combatant type and then armored. And then that way he will definitely use a toxic throw on an armored target. And the reason for that, or why that would be good, is because, of course, right now we don't have great ways of dealing with armored targets, at least between these two groups. And so poisoning them can be a pretty good way of kind of, dealing with them. So anyways, let's get started here on the Ravaged Swamp. It's time. It's time to get to business. We've got our favorite witch to recruit. We'll just skip through this and skip through that. Okay. So we'll deploy Joseph's unit here on the corner right away. And then I'm just going to try to get to that treasure immediately. Clive's unit can probably just dump right here. And then Yana, I'm going to throw... Oh, you can actually withdraw her. Well, I'm going to garrison her instead at the command post instead of just withdrawing her, so that I could... withdrawing her would mean that I could, throw her actually in another group, but I probably don't really need to do that. I guess one thing that we could do, though, is give her Chloe's charm. I think that makes sense. Something on the ground here. You're kidding me. You're a liar. There's nothing on the ground there. All right, there we go. First strike. Maybe I'll actually watch some of these battles play out here, too, so that we can actually see all our fancy tactics in action. Let's move down here. Yeah, we're just going to be walking right through these guys, though. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like one-shotting everything. All right. All right, well, let's keep at it. I should say I also did a couple of the, that repeatable battle between videos as well, right? Like, I think in the last video I did it like 3 times, and then, I think Elaine and maybe even Aubin hit level 11. So, I did it a few times. Here I probably should have swapped that sword on Joseph over to the runic, but I'll maybe do that here in a little bit. All right, so at this point I'm at 0 stamina with Joseph's unit, but I do see that these enemies are coming towards me. So it doesn't make sense to restore our Valor points with Vitalize yet. What we want to do actually is let these enemies come to Joseph, so that because it's not an issue, right? You can still fight even if you're at 0 stamina. Let's see, is that... Okay, let's see this play out. Boom. Oh, brutal. I kind of been thinking about using trying to work Chloe into more battles. The other times that I've played, I've barely ever used her, so I'm thinking maybe this time around I'll actually try to, work her in a little bit more. Hopefully. It can be tough though, because I get to a certain point in the game where I just like, this group here just completely stomps everything, so it's like, do I really need to bring anybody else in? And the answer is usually no. So, all right. Don't really need to see that again. And then this next one is the same 3 Housecarl setup. So, okay. Now that everything is cleared out, let's do a Vitalize. And we'll get over here. Let's, oh, of course. All right. well, we got some reinforcements popped out right before I got there, but we'll watch the witch fight. This is probably going to play out the same way. Yeah, we're just going to one-shot this stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, let's set up Joseph with a runic sword now. This probably makes sense. Prioritize. No, I think this should be a armored only, not just prioritizing it. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna work really well. You could do that with Elaine too, honestly. Elaine could swap that sword in. That actually probably would have been maybe a better idea. Yeah, because, you know, the pursuit's not really going to do much damage. I think that's what I'll do. I'll swap that. Here's the magic attack. Boom! And there's the one shot on the armored. You'll love to see it. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, maybe it actually does make the most sense to keep it on Joseph now that I'm thinking about it, because he's got to have the 2 AP, right? So in situations like that where there's two armored units, obviously he wrecked both of them, so yeah, maybe that did make sense actually to keep on Joseph. Because of course also, you know, Elena would only be able to hit once, so. All right. Excuse me. That is good there. Let's make our way over here. We still do have 2 treasures to grab, so definitely going to do that. Can probably swap this weapon back for now, though. One HP, less than 100%, lowest.
I shall hold nothing back.
For the liberation. All right. Now, we don't want to end the battle right now, obviously, because we haven't grabbed everything yet, but you just have to be careful, because if you, you know, engage Beaumont, he's the last battle. There's a little ranger's assist there. Also, you know, one thing that I should have brought up a little bit earlier, excuse me. I did notice that setting Pursuit to lowest HP doesn't actually do anything. There was times where I was watching Aubin use his rolling axe on multiple targets, and one or both of them would still be alive, but Joseph would do the pursuit and then not target the character that had the lowest HP. So it kind of seems like the AI just ignores any, well, I guess the you know, the lowest HP. So that's a little unfortunate, but oh well. All right, let's vitalize. Go up and grab this treasure here too. Watch Clive take care of some business here. All right, we're getting there. There's barricades right here right now. You can just run into barricades over and over, and that will eventually knock them down. But I don't really enjoy doing that much, and I think that in this case, it's better to actually come from the back side and you know, just avoid them altogether. So this should be hopefully our last vitalize. All right, let's go down here and take care of business. Also, I see I need to swap this back. Normally, I don't really do this. I don't really swap weapons that much. That just seems, well, it's a little annoying, honestly. But you know, it is kind of fun to play around with this stuff though sometimes too. Yeah, look at that. That's going to make such a huge difference on that battle. All right, let's watch this play out.
As far as stepping stones go, it seems this one is only fit to dirty my beautiful feet.
Beaumont's a feet guy. All right. Not my thing, but hey. There's the stun. Yeah, look at these pursuits just not doing anything. Boom. Man, that is just nasty against those targets. Okay. Should be one more crack at this and we should be done here. Yeah, gonna do... Oh, nope, I don't have enough Valor to do the EXP bonus, which is fine, right? We're not really getting much out of this battle anyway. But that should do it. That's a win. And there you've got the Azure Crest Great Shield. Pretty good if you are using Hodrick. Honestly, that's another one of the characters that I should try to make a unit for at some point. In all the times that I've played through the game, I've rarely ever used a Legionnaire, which is the big, you know, the great shield wearing or using tank. I don't know what it is about him. And it's not that they're a bad class. I think maybe just because I like to be to be more aggressive, right, and have kind of units that have really, really good damage. But they are very, very good, you know, for like, you know, reducing damage certainly. Let's skip here. Got a leaf brooch. Those are kind of lame. Don't really use them a whole lot. All right, so there's Yana joining. By using magic conferral skill on the Lord, the witch can make the Lord's lean edge skill also deal magic damage. Yeah, that's pretty slick. Yana will be or end up in my unit here, or in Joseph's unit, but not quite yet. Right, we are only at renown rank D. In order to add a fourth character to a unit, you have to be at renown rank C. And we're a bit or a ways off of that. So first thing that I want to do, being that we've got Yana here, is actually just walk up to her tower here. That's behind this village. And grab the Frostbrand Tome. You can see there it's got Ice Conferral and Magic Attack +2. It says activates before an ally's physical attack. Add magic damage and freeze to an ally's next attack. And that's 50 potency. Honestly, I haven't been using this as much as I did with like my first playthrough, just because I think that Yana's passives are so good. So obviously right now she's only level 5. She'll get Magic Missile at 10 and then Focus Sight at 15. Focus Sight is huge. Magic Infertile is actually really good too. But we'll talk probably a bit more about Yana a bit later, just because, again, I won't actually be using her for the time being. But anyways, let's go to the armorer here. Familiar's Choker is an interesting item. It says grant an ally plus 50% magic attack, but grants the user minus 50%. This is sort of good for some characters. You know, a good combo right now would be like Yana and Selvi. Selvi doesn't need her magic attack, and so she's a good character to equip that on. Actually, let's buy some of this stuff here. I don't really... Yeah, I'm not... Oh, I ran out of money anyway. Also, let's station Yana here. And being that we've got this other village here as well. Let's take a look. It looks like this one needs to be rebuilt. Yeah, so we'll do our deliveries here. And that gets us all fixed up. I just skip that. And we'll station Selvi here. Take a look at the armor. Sorcerer's Medallion is very, very good. I'll definitely be buying this. I'm going to have to go, probably run that repeatable battle a couple of times to get some cash. And then the Runic Spear here. So this is another one that's got the magical attack ability on it. Again, it can be pretty good early on. Probably good really on Hodrick, if I'm being honest. I think that the issue with those spears is they don't have as good of a physical attack stat on them, and so it can be tough for me to justify using them on someone like Clive, right? Because he really needs the physical attack. You don't really want to be reducing his physical attack with that other spear. Maybe Chloe could be okay with it too, but yeah, again, it's a tough sell for these characters that are actually, mostly doing physical damage, whereas like someone like Hodrick really isn't going to be doing much damage anyway. And so giving him that spear I think probably makes at least a bit of sense. But anyways, that's probably going to be pretty much it for this one. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit, or probably run this battle a couple of more times. Maybe I'll actually throw in Yana here in Aubyn's spot just for the time being so that I can get her leveled up. I'm going to give her the recruit staff. She's got Chloe's charm. We'll steal that golden egg too. Excuse me. Also, before I forget though, and I'll discuss this, I'm sure at the, at a probably a later video as well, but the Thawing Scepter is very, very good. Guard Hunter is just a really solid passive for her. It says attack a single enemy with magic and ignores 30% of the target's defense. So oftentimes, you'll be, trying to take out the, armored units, and, someone like Joseph will use Slice or whatever, and then, basically do nothing to him. But the Thawing Scepter then will trigger and do a ton of damage, right? So it's just a really, really good way to take out things like Legionnaires, which I think that's the upgraded class name. What's the basic one? Is it Hoplite? Yes, Hoplite. Also very good. That Thawing Scepter is good against knights as well, right? Because they'll oftentimes guard fighters as well, right? Because again, same deal. They guard a lot, and so that scepter can be a great way to deal with them. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to end this one here. So as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.